I can tell you that the general manager is not on vacation.
He's working
at home at the Saddle Dome or somewhere, but he is attending to team business.
To matters.
And there are matters to attend to. You have 3 prominent UFAs. You have a goalie in excellent form. You've got 2 year 3 UFAs with some trade protection. And you have theoretically extension conversation with Noah Hanifin. With more on the Flames, Elliotte Friedman joined the NHL Network yesterday. Had this to say, a bunch here.
I don't think that what's happened this year has really changed a lot in terms of what their philosophies were. I think it comes down to what do the players involved want. Like a lot of these players, because their contracts are up or because they have no trade clauses, they have control over where they're going. I think with Noah Hanifin, there was a time this year where I thought Noah Hanifin was going to resign. And then they lost a few games, and he kind of changed his mind. They've started talking again. I really think over the All-Star break, Noah Hanifin's going to have to make a decision. Does he see his future in Calgary, or does he see his future elsewhere? And I think the Flames have kind of asked him, you've got to tell us what you're thinking about here. Chris Tanev, I've heard there's a big market for him, not surprisingly. Reported on the weekend that Ottawa's a team that has interest in him too. They're looking for true pros. He fits. Biggest question is, does he want to go to a team right now that's not going to make the playoffs? Maybe in the summer, he might consider the Senators for next year, but I'm not sure now. I think there's a lot of interest in him. Lindholm, again, I think there's a ton of interest in him. Vancouver among the other teams there. I think Colorado's looked at Lindholm. I do think he'll get traded. And with Markstrom, the story I've heard with him, and Kevin, you've been lighting up the Devils fans. Like every time you tweet, the Devils, you give the Devils fans coronaries. Like what I've heard about Markstrom is he does not like this stuff. He does not like the speculation. It bothers him. And I think because of that, there's kind of like an unwritten agreement that they won't go to Markstrom about waiving unless they've got a trade offer that's so good, or he tells them that he wants to go somewhere, which I don't believe has happened to this point. I think he just wants to play.
Lots there. And so just to tighten the screws a little bit, Noah Hanifin has a 10-team no-trade list, so he can say 2/3 of the teams I'll go to, 1/3 I won't, essentially. Chris Tanev has an 8-team no-trade list, and Markstrom has a full no-move. You can't, not that you put him in the minors, you can't even send him to the Wranglers without him saying, I want to, which no one would do. So he controls it most. And interestingly, Lindholm, who's having the roughest year of the bunch, has no control at all over the situation with no trade protection.
And what's interesting there, you wonder if that's, obviously they have it, but if those players are going to be dealt, it's probably to a team that is strong and is playoff bound. It's right. Not, and you're going for a couple of months potentially at most. Yeah. I don't know.
Shouldn't be an issue
that you'd be invoking a no trade, but it's hard to say, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's the when do the list get submitted, and maybe someone had Winnipeg on a list this summer because they didn't think they'd be good, but shit, look at them now. Yeah, Winnipeg would be great. I don't see it being a huge sticking point, but you did hear in there the All-Star break. Elliott's thought is Conway will have an answer from Noah Hanifin. Is your future in Calgary or not? And if the answer is no, get the fax machine fired up and let the other 31 general managers know this guy's available.
Not to speculate on anything, but just as a thought, if I'm thinking about the Markstrom thing, then now's the time for that too.
Yep.
Because you've got a break to make this move. You got a guy like Markstrom who's got kids, whatever, family.
Totally. It's a window to get something done here.
Even with having term remaining, because the other guy's UFAs, even with Markstrom having a couple years left, you still kind of.
I'm saying if it's going to happen for Markstrom right now, as a being classy about it, if you want to trade him this year, do it now.
Give him and I think if you're Craig, you could say, look, it's a high probability we're moving Lindholm. Lindholm was a big part of Markstrom coming here. Those guys are tight. If you're Connie, you probably you say, look, we're probably going to move Tanev. The guy literally had Tanev's missing teeth on his mask. Like those guys played in Vancouver together. They came that same offseason together. Those guys are buddies. And if you look at the team without those two, it's going to be tough to be competitive. I think Craig Conroy's conversation with Markstrom over the All-Star break, if he has one, is here are the things we're doing. And they also, his job is to say, who needs goalies? What are the offers like? Because if they're just meh offers, like Frank suggested they might be yesterday, it's an off-season move. If there's something tangible, then we're chatting.
Yeah, do it now. And I can tell you this, being in Buffalo the 1 year, Rob Ray, Stu Barnes, Chris Gratton, I forget who else, all the guys that I was quite tight with. We had a really tight team, but my age guys that we bounced ideas, obviously would be considered leadership on the squad. They all got moved. Total awkwardness and different feel going to the rink for the rest of the year after that.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? It's hard to wrap your head around. And I you wonder with Markstrom, like, these guys know what's going on, right? Like, these guys, they don't have to go to the media and listen to us tell them here's what's happening. They know what's going on. The Markstrom is, what do you want to do? Are you don't want to go anywhere? Then we don't need to we're done talking. Yeah. But if you're thinking you want to go, then you go past it, because Markstrom knows.
Yeah.
I don't think, and it's Hanifin, and it's a maybe. And I don't know. I was more kind of 60-40. He stays. It's maybe slid back to a 50-50. And I think it's starting to go down for me a little bit that he stays.
Frank made a really good point yesterday. If you've already given him everything and put it on the table and he's declined, we talked about it all summer, Rhett. Is that the type of guy that, okay, I'm going to get more money here, I will stay, and maybe like I can, if we're not good, I'll just ask for a trade? Like, is that really what, as a GM, you're trying to collect here?
It's
guys that are just here for the money. No, you want guys who want to be in Calgary. And if you want to be in Calgary, this thing's done. They've had big money on the table, a bunch between the end of last season and now. $60 million.
60 is a lot of money.
We will overpay you. That's an overpay. We will give you more money than anyone else in the league will, and we have an 8th year.
And
that's what he got. He said no.
You've said, and you've had all kinds of time to evaluate. You've been here long enough. You know what the city is. Here's the money. Like, there's no more surprises out there that Noah Hanifin has to. There's no more information that he's going to get to make that decision.
Yeah, maybe if they won if they went 6-0 on the homestand,
but it doesn't change who he's been here for years. He knows what the city and this team is, and yes, it's going to be a younger team. It's not immediately, like, he knows. It's it's sliding for me.
I would say I'm well below 50% now.
Yeah,
I'd agree, and I think that's probably good. I think they'll do well in a trade for Hanifin. Minute Munching D. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.